Well, hello everyone. It's been a couple of weeks, but here we are back with the Paul McNally reprise show. Bit of a holiday for me the other week, and then Paul was ill last week, so we've got quite a bit of catching up to do. So welcome, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hope you're feeling better, mate.
On the mend.
On the mend. Good. So we'll go back, actually. Obviously, we had a good win against Colne in the week, but we go back to the good win the previous week against Ramsbottom. Tell us your thoughts now. You've had a long time sort of in bed or whatever. What are your thoughts on that great win?
Yeah, I thought that was just a battling performance and that win from what I can remember now of it. You know what I mean? We deserved it. We were fully deserved the win. Although the second half, on my thoughts, what I can remember is they had a little bit of the ball. They were quite comfortable on it, and then we gambled. I went with 3 at the back, tapped it, overloaded down the side, brought Steely on. Adam runners off Mitch and Kevin down the centre, and the gamble paid off. And we won 2-1. 2-1 probably flattered them in the end, because I thought it could have been 3-1. 3 or 4 possibly, but then at the same time we got out of jail because we nearly could have let one in the 90th minute. Could have been 2-all, you know what I mean? So I was just thankful for the results. And at this stage of the season and where we are, it's just about picking up results. It's not about how good we are as a team and how we can move the ball as well. And it's just about getting points and picking them up, because other times we played really well throughout the season and dominated teams and not got no points. So it's now just about putting the points on the board, and that's all I'm grateful for that game.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. You touched on a couple of chances they had. John Murphy, Spud, who used to play for us, obviously he hit the bar with one quite early in the second half as well, and then there was that defensive mix-up or whatever that was towards the end, which could have thrown the 3 points away. But it was good to see, or in my case here, I was away on holiday, wasn't I, to hear Steely get that winning goal. He's got something about Ramsbottom, hasn't he? He's all about assists and goals against Ramsbottom.
He loves Rammies, doesn't he? It's, was it 5 goals, isn't it? 3 games against him, something like that. That's so believe.
Yeah, and a number of assists as well.
Yeah, he's look, he loves playing against them. You get that sometimes, don't you? Lads love playing against a certain team, and say he does that against Rammy. We've all got teams we like playing against or whatever, and that's it. So, and he's come up trumps a few times this season for us, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And he deserves it as well for his hard work coming on as well. You know what I mean? He's been away for a couple of weeks. He come back in and then bang, scored a goal, so deserved it.
You know, you can make comments about different players and this and that, but there's a lad with a good attitude, always fit, always ready, professional, trains well, and has got that pace that can hurt. Certainly later on in the game can certainly hurt defenders. I know you sort of put him in behind when you brought him on in that game, so it wasn't so much stretching the defence. But you know, he's still the leading goal scorer, isn't he? He's got, I don't know, 8 or 10 or something goals. He hasn't got 10, 8 or 9 goals, and we've still got 10 or 12 games to go. So he's improved in terms of his goal scoring, because last year he played 12 games for us and only scored 1. We took a punt on him this year, a gamble as such, and you know, now he's done 26 and he's scored, as I say, 9, I think. So his goal scoring record has improved.
I think he could have scored a lot more as well if he knows himself.
Oh, absolutely.
He truthfully probably could be in double figures. Do you know what I mean?
Should be easily.
The lad gets himself in the positions. He's a good, honest, hard-working lad, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He always tries his hardest. People want a little bit more from him, which everyone wants more from him. But I just think he's always there. I think he's reliable. And look, sometimes you don't know what you've got until it's gone to you. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's saying, "Oh, you want this player, you want that player, you want that player." But I think at the moment we should be grateful for the players we've got at this club and that. And we've let players go. Do you know what I mean? And they're thriving. So 1 or 2 are thriving at other clubs. So Conor McCarthy's doing all right there, but the ones we've got here are players that are good for us and they're going to push us on. And I truly believe that they will push us on, do you know what I mean? And Steely's in that band of players that will push us on.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, actually, Paul, because, I mean, you mentioned Conor. I mean, we let Conor go not long after you took over. So Connor hasn't been with us since September.
Yeah.
I think he's been getting a lot of Sunday League football in, hasn't he, with the ball and doing well and blah, blah, blah. And he eventually went to Widnes. So a lot of things the same things seem to get said in tweets by football clubs. We've signed so-and-so from City of Liverpool. And it's just not true. I mean, yeah, Connor was the last club we were registered with at this level, but he hasn't been with us for 6 months, 4 or 5 months virtually.
So Connor went out. He went to Lowbreath, didn't he?
He went to Lowbreath as well.
We put him out on a dual reg, and it was more for game time, and then obviously, and he wasn't happy with that. He needed game time here, but he's gone there and look, he's got himself really fit. He's got himself playing for them really fit. Saturday, Sunday, and he's reaping rewards. And good on him because he's a good lad. We never said anything bad about him. We always wished him well. And if he would have come back to us fitter, that would have been up to him. Do you know what I mean? But he decided he was going to stay with Brecht, play there, and then obviously he ends up going to Widnes. So no grudges, no holds barred.
No. But what I'm talking about, Paul, is like, it's almost like the PR war the club's engaging. We don't do it, but we've signed him from them. Well, you haven't. You haven't signed him for us. He hasn't been with us for ages. That don't just mean Connor.
There's other players. Yeah,
he released Jack Walls from his contract. After having a bit of difficulty over going out on loan and what have you. And then Prescott are saying, "We've signed Jack Walls from City Liverpool. We've released him. He's already been deemed surplus to what we wanted." We've already got our established right back in that case, plus got a backup. He was probably third in line there. So Jack's another good young lad and no problems. Sometimes it's horses for courses, isn't it? You can be brilliant for us or not or whatever.
With Jack, I think it was down to time. I mean, he's a great lad on and off the pitch. It was just timing, wasn't it? He was injured. He started my first game, he got injured after a bit, and he was injured for most of my time while I've still been here, and then he's come back recently and he needed game time, and I couldn't guarantee him it because Pete Wiley has absolutely nailed that spot down, and it's understandable, although when he did come in, Jack, he never ever let us down, and that's the best I can say to him, so there's no point hanging on to the lad. Having him sitting here and being surplus to requirements if he's not going to play for us, do you know what I mean? As much as you'd want the best players around, sometimes it's not possible, and you're doing the lad a disservice. They only have short football careers, don't they? The careers come and go.
It suited everyone, didn't it?
Yeah. And in fairness to the lad, he asked for it himself, so that's fair dues, isn't it? He asked for him once we come out with it, he agreed with it, so... Yeah, so take your hat off to him. He didn't need to because he just sat there, couldn't he? But he wanted to get out and play.
Of course, Berkey, you became the first player that we've sold as a club and got money for, which was great. That was another move that was good for everyone. We got paid. He's gone off to Ballet, looking for a European place. I don't know how they've been getting on or whatever, but I hope they're doing well. Has he been playing, do you know?
I haven't followed it, to be fair.
Hey, lad, what are you like?
I haven't looked at it, to be honest. I don't look at the West League. No offence to it, but it's not really a league that I've really bothered looking at, apart from when I was younger, Scorio and that.
Oh, Scorio!
Scorio, yeah.
Right.
That's the only time you'd ever, the occasional, you'd watch it now and again, do you know what I mean? But no. Apart from TNS, Ballard and Connor's Key, isn't it? They're the only really ones that you look at, you know what I mean? It's no offence. Look, I know it's a massive league, it's a professional league, you know what I mean? But it's not really any relevance to us. You know what I mean?
Right, well.
Don't mean any disrespect to the Welsh.
Tough words, lad.
Don't mean any disrespect.
You might want to flog someone else over there.
I work with a couple of lads at Liverpool as well, and they worked at Barry Town and that as well, so they won't take that lightly. But no, look, there's a lot of money in that league and it is what it is, and there's a lot of ex-professionals and that. But for me, you're in the English league or you're in the Welsh league. The English league is far superior for me, and that's it.
Right. I'm getting you off this subject before you say anything else. You put further in it. So yeah, all is not as it always seems when clubs are tweet. Well, that's my point anyway. When clubs tweet, we've done this, we've done that. It's all not always as it seems, but there we are. We've, as you said earlier, we've got the squad, we've got the lads in place. You don't know what you've got till you've lost it. We've won 2 on the bounce now, which is lovely and warm. It's a nice warm feeling. As you win the games, it's joyous and you get joy for a couple of days, and then you start going, oh shit, now we've got another game. Oh no. And the pressure, well, it does for me anyway, the pressure starts to mount. So we played Ramsbottom on the Saturday. We got that win. That was great. We didn't have a game the following Saturday, which was another absolute ball ache.
We trained though. We
trained. And we had the race night, which was great fun. You looked like you had a great time. Drinking your Diet Coke.
That was before it wasn't well.
Yeah. The next day you were done in.
Yeah. Maybe too many Diet Cokes.
Too many, yeah. Well, the club had a great time. We're actually gonna do another one, and we're scheduling it for. There's a rescheduled game against Widnes. So Widnes away, which I think is Saturday, the 11th of March now. The invite is everyone back to the hub on the way home, and we're gonna do another race night, another fundraiser, more fun. It went on anyway till about 12:30. I don't know what time you got off, and then there was an after party back in Kirby.
All right.
You didn't get invited to that?
No. I took Jack Hunt and John McGrath on, didn't I? Let's look after me players. Can't have them going missing, can I?
Well, I lost my financial director for a couple of days. He was rare out the picture.
Oh, all right, was he?
Yeah, I think.
That in these flats, was it? Yeah.
But there we are. But it was a good time anyway, wasn't it? We had a laugh, and we'll be doing another one, as I say, 11th of March. Then we moved straight on to the Tuesday in Colne. You weren't there, Paul, but give us your thoughts anyway on what happened.
Look, obviously, you know why I weren't there, do you know what I mean? That I was literally, up until dinner time, I was trying to get there, even 4 o'clock, do you know what I mean? But there's no way I couldn't lift my head up off the pillow. Was just wiped out with this virus and that. By that point, I'd already named the team anyway, not to the players, do you know what I mean? I'd got my team, we'd had everything, the match preparation was down to a T. So all I'd done was just let Adam and Graham know that I wouldn't be there. I informed Kevin Ellie at about 5:30 that I wouldn't be there to give the lads a hand. And that's it, basically. I named the team with Adam, went through it, and I just said good luck and hope everything. If you need me, I'm on the other end of the phone if you need me. Yeah. And I trust them, do you know what I mean? And this way people don't realise how good your assistants are and your coaches, do you know what I mean? Sometimes in football, people take them for granted and they just say, oh, there's such and such as a coach there and just carries water bottles on the pitch. No. We're a team. We're a management team. And that's the whole thing that I can't praise them enough, do you know what I mean? That they've carried out exactly how I would have done to the letter, do you know what I mean? So I can't praise them enough, the 2 of them, or the 3 of them, even Kevin there, do you know what I mean, joining that, which people might not have seen that. They might have just thought he was a sub and not come on and he's been the player and he's thingy, but no, he's been influential in helping the lads get through that game as well. So, no, I take my hat off to Graham and Adam. They're both influential and they know exactly how I think and we all think the same for how we want to win a game. So, perfect. And they perfected the game plan.
Yeah. And to be honest, we discussed it before, and I know it got mentioned, they had a good start, Colne, in fairness, right off the back of beating Runcorn Linnets on Saturday, created a couple of good chances, in fairness, in those early moments, and then we really just took control of that half. Mitchley had a great chance. I couldn't believe it never went in, to be honest, but what an opportunity. And then, and second half, same again. They had a good little start. They didn't really create anything. Good little start, and then we just took over again.
I've never been more nervous listening to a match than that.
It's awful,
especially with Mike and Sam, the commentator. And every time we go forward, I think there's a goal, do you know what I mean? And then it's probably just a throw in or something. And then every time they go forward, I think, oh no, we've been scored past. Yeah. So it's nervous. It is. I was lying on the couch and Vicky was sitting there, and then we were both listening to it. And it was Adam Hughes' header, I think it was. No, the header that just went wide. And he made out that what a goal. So I'm celebrating, putting my hands up in the air, and then he went, oh, he's missed. And then I just went, oh, no. Yeah, but when you watch it on the video, and I spoke to Adam last night, I said, you should have put it in. Yeah. He went, no, I said, you should have probably put it across the keeper. There was that much power on the whippage that if he heads it across, but the keeper, look, he was a fantastic keeper, Hackenberg.
He is, yeah.
He played for Curzon and that for years, and he played for Colne for years, so to beat him was going to take something special, but I'll take that little scruffy one. You know what I mean?
They're the best ones. But it's interesting going back to Steely and Steely scoring all his goals against Ramsbottom. Well, Colne are the opposite side of the coin for him, aren't they? And that goalie, because he could have had a hat-trick at Colne. Yeah. He had that superb header on Tuesday, and Burton makes another. Well, it's just an unbelievable save to keep that out.
It was great save, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really, really was. And then, as you say, Adam had that great chance, and then we got our scruffy goal. But to be honest, it was a penalty. I don't know if he got on it like 2 hands.
Yeah.
Well, but the penalty, but
we've had more than enough opportunities to win the game more than 1-0. I'm just happy that we've won it 1-0. And from what I've watched, the full 90 minutes, it was controlled. It wasn't like 100 miles an hour, an end-to-end basketball game. It was controlled. We defended resolutely. My last word to Adam and Graham was, look, if you need, because I'm not there, if you need to just sit in and defend, just don't get beat. That's the message, do you know what I mean? And maybe they've had a little bit of nerves where they've said, literally, don't go bombarding forward, but I'm not bothered about that. That's the blueprint. That's how we play anyway now. Do you know what I mean? I've said that a long time ago. Let's not put our egos up here and say we can take anyone on playing and attacking football, because that's how we get beat sometimes, when we're too open and attacking. I think most of the fans would love to see us like that, but I don't think we're at that level yet.
Look at this moment in time, Paul, in this absolute dogfight that everyone's in. There's only about 6 clubs who are safe. Yeah. So at the moment, it's pragmatism, isn't it? And I think watching the game, there was only one moment in that second half after we gone a goal up where we looked open, and it was the one where they got the chance and
Ben saved
it. Because I was actually saying, whoever was stood next to me, as they were coming through the midfield, I was going, someone fucking stop him or hit him, or someone had to foul that lad, and he didn't, and then he got the pass off and the lad was clean through. But other than that, we really controlled the last. It wasn't a nervous 10 or 15 minutes or whatever.
It was for me listening to it.
I can appreciate that. I was watching it as our lads managed the clock, great, didn't make any mistakes, nice and calm and collected, and really limited them. And credit where it's due, right at the end, there was a corner, I think, and you got to edge it, but it just went right up in the air. And Big Barnes just went,
and that takes the steam out of them, doesn't it? Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. You were there, and that, I suppose that's a professional performance, as they say, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? When you look at it, do you know what I mean? If they can do that, and I'm not there, do you know what I mean? That's fantastic, do you know what I mean? But that's the game plan. That's how we're looking to play all the time, do you know what I mean? And not just scrappy 1-0 wins, just win until we can start moving further up, and confidence that breeds then, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's 2 wins on the bounce now. Like, I'm not saying Saturday's going to be easy, because it's not, by no means. Hanley, their record is they've drew quite a lot of games recently, and then they've gone and won the other night. So they're quite a tough team to play, as we know anyway, with a lot of ex-pros playing for them and good players. So that's going to be a tough game, but Colne are not an easy team. They were a banana skin for me. They've just beat Colne at their own. If you look at the goals difference, they've only scored 25 goals, but they've only conceded something like 32 goals as well. So they're not.
They're in games like that a lot.
Yeah, they're actually
1-0 either way.
1-0, yeah. So to take us for the 1-0, I'll take that all day long. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to be 3 or 4 1s, 3 or 4 nils. Never going to be that. It's going to be 1-0. And we'll take that, do you know what I mean? Shut up shop then, do you know what I mean? And they've got a handful of a striker up front in number 9, Owen Watkinson. So I'm glad that we managed to deal with him quite well.
What was funny was, I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but as the lad goes through and Barnes said, and I was like, that's that Louisiana. He's just been waiting for that one shot. And the lad wasn't even playing. He'd gone back on loan, hadn't he?
Enoch's gone back to Accrington, yeah. He's gone back to Accrington, yeah. It was funny because on Sunday I was actually speaking to Andy Gray at Accrington and he told me that he'd gone back there.
Yeah. Well, I was terrified of him throughout the game. He wasn't even on the pitch.
Yeah. I know, well, I was before, if I didn't know we weren't playing, I was like, him and Owen, the two of them would have been a battering ram. Yeah, that's the worry, do you know what I mean? Because I think he scored most of the goals for them, hasn't he?
He has.
Yeah. But look, 3 points is all that matters, and that's it. And looking at the table, because I was looking at it live as we're going through it, you know what I mean? So it's 0-0, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I can see all the other results, which normally any other time I wouldn't be. And I'm like, we've got to win here. And the wife's looking at me, and I'm like, we've got to win, because the other teams, like, the results are going well for us here. And then I've seen us, and I was thinking, do you know what, a draw then, don't get beat. And then once we've gone 1-0 up, I'm thought, no, that's it, we've got it. And other results were just going up and down. And then I was hoping Hanley, they got a draw against them, do you know what I mean? But things didn't work out that way. And then Widner scored in the 90th minute, didn't he? Which didn't really affect us as such, do you know what I mean? But it affected the dynamics at the bottom a little bit. But I think we were one of the only teams around there, us and them. Widnes were the only two around the bottom half of the table to win, weren't they?
Yeah.
Hanley as well, sorry.
Hanley got to win, yeah.
Yeah, so besides that, though, the rest of them all lost. So that's a good pattern for me that we've started to win when others are losing there now. And I think we're now 11th, are we? I think we're above Bootle on goal difference. Well, that's the first time since I took over that we're above them.
Yeah.
that's not me using them as the barometer or anything.
No.
Let's just try and push further on up the table.
Well, all I think about that from a Bootle point of view is they were quite a long way ahead of us at one point, and obviously, it's not just about us winning. They've obviously dropped some points as well. So it was just a good sign that we've able to do that. We've been 11th before a couple of times this season.
Yeah.
And we've got ourselves back there now. We've got to, every game is life or death. So
we're still
games, but
it's still closer to the relegation area than the top half. With 3 points.
But so is everyone.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Whereas a long time ago, though, it wasn't. We were closer to that area and further away from the top part. But now there's no in between. We're just like, you can go either way. It's like a sliding scale. You can go like a snakes and ladders a bit sort of thing, isn't it?
I think it is.
You could be 7th and suddenly you could be 15th. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. So, other than really, I would say Clitheroe upwards.
Yeah.
Plus Whitner in it, but Whitner have got quite a few games in hand. So, but you've got to win them.
And the goal difference is quite decent as well.
+7, is it, or something like that? So, they're the teams I'd say, probably are going to be all right, but everyone else has got to start winning games. Well, I mean, we've started, and Widnes have started winning. What would be nice from a personal perspective is if we could, if whoever the bottom two is could get detached, because I was looking at last season's league table, and the bottom two were Market Drayton and Kendall, and they both finished on 12 points. So they were the winning boys, and now you've got Widnes, I think, on, I don't know, I'm making it up, 24, and you've got Ramsbottom on 20 already. And then there's 2 more relegation places or relegation playoff places this year. So it's just an absolute dogfight.
But last year, though, the bottom 2 went down, did they, last year?
2 went down, and there was a nominal relegation playoff.
But they never had that, though, did they? Because I was at them last year, and we would have meant to have played the division above, which would have been Prescott Cables.
Yeah.
But they got a reprieve because of the points per game sort of tally.
Yeah.
So we ended up playing Cinderford Town down south, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm thinking. Two playoff places is it guaranteed? You don't know, do you?
You don't know anything at this point because
no, because the FA haven't stipulated it, have they? And they just leave people hanging on, worrying, don't they?
Yeah, they have stipulated it at the start that there is 2, but like last season, there was so much to and fro because clubs were dropping out, clubs were going here, there, left. So it is stipulated that there's 2 because that's what the dotted line's about. But that could change. But just from any of these clubs' perspectives, if the bottom 2 could get detached, do us all a favour, that'd be great. And then it's on to the next 2, 19 and 18, or 18 and 17. We've just got to stay out of there for as long as
that is the one, as you said. So bottom 2 detached, which I don't think it's happening. It's not happening. Then the next 2 try and detach from that, and then, like I say, but we're all running out of games, aren't we? Let's be honest. We're 12 games we've got left. There's only so much time left, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Can't keep saying, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that, when you haven't got enough points to put on the board.
Well, that's my other stat, you see, Paul. You just trampled all over me again. We can still get to 67. I mean, obviously, you're not going to get to 67 winning every game, but the clubs down the bottom, they're close now to start looking at what they can achieve. So, from our perspective, we need to keep that gap, between those bottom 2 relegation places in the first place, and we've got it there at the moment. If we keep that gap over the next 2-3 weeks, then the bottom 2, whether they like it or not, whoever those bottom 2 are, whether they like it or not, will not be able to achieve our possible points, and that's when they're detached. But again, it's the next 2 places, those relegation playoffs, which could be the real risk.
Yeah. Like I say, anyone in this division playing in a playoff, which it would be a playoff, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? I don't think it'd be right, because this got to be one of the strongest divisions around at our level. Do you know what I mean? Around the whole country. Do you know what I mean? I found that out last season by going to Cinderford with Skem. We were pitted against a team that was finished 3rd or 4th from bottom. You go in there and you're not knowing what to expect, and we beat them 5-1 in a playoff. So,
talk us through it a bit. I mean, it's a shock result, isn't it? Obviously, you're at the top of your division, but still, they're the division above.
Yeah, so you go in there, aren't you, unexpected. I tried to get enough information on them as I could, but we only had a week to prepare because their season finished obviously a bit later on. We didn't know we were going to play until then, and like I say, we'd finished 2nd in the league, so we're thinking that should be enough to go up, but it's not. You're then playing them. They've been given the home advantage because they're in a higher league. So you're travelling miles away, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Where is it?
Cinderford's is it Forest of Dean, them ways? It's Forest. Yeah, by Bristol. Bristol
way, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, by Bristol. Is it Forest? It's like posh scenery down there anyway, because that was my pre-match walk before, and we had a little walk around. But you go into an environment where they haven't been winning all season, though. That's the only thing, do you know what I mean? But you don't know what to expect. You don't know whether they'll have Jerry Springers playing for them, that are not due benched or whatever. And you go in there, don't know what to do. And look, 1-1 it was. It was 1-0. We scored in about the 44th minute, something like that. But it was close, nip and tuck before that. And then after half-time, we absolutely tore them apart. And 5-1, flattered them. It could have been about 10. And no word of a lie, no disrespect to them. But the second half was one of the easiest games we've had all season. And we were like...
The pressure got to them, didn't it?
Yeah. And we were well deserving of it, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, the lads who scored 4 for me, Mikey Howard, he ends up going higher. He come off with 4 goals, do you know what I mean? He's gone higher, but Danny Mitchell, he was playing, do you know what I mean? He was there. Got lads that are with us now, do you know what I mean? That were part of that, but the feeling of winning, that's fantastic, but I wouldn't like to get the feeling of losing it.
Not this season.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to say, that I don't think it's right for anyone out of this league because of how successful this league is. Do you know what I mean? For them leagues, yeah, because they're a bit lower and maybe their points per games might be a little bit lower. I don't know. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Our points per games is probably quite high, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's beating each other. I don't know.
Well, that'd be low then, wouldn't it? I don't know what it is to be.
Or maybe
if everyone's beating each other, your PPG is going to be lower, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll put you at a disadvantage then, this league, then, wouldn't it?
In fact, I'll tell you exactly what it is right now while we're talking.
Yeah.
Points per match. You City Liverpool 1.19. We're on, Paul.
Okay, so that's a point a game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Which isn't too bad considering, is it? Could be better. We could be on two.
Listen, we're talking about it because we've got people in our position, chairman, manager, whatever. You've got to prepare for all things. You can't just have our head in the clouds. But we're 11th right now. We've got a couple of good fixtures coming up which are winnable. They're all winnable in this league.
Points per games are relevant if you're winning your games. Do you know what I mean? It's only like last season I was forever looking over points per game because we were chasing a league. And if you weren't chasing the league, you're chasing that second spot to go up. Do you know what I mean? So
points per game.
It's then you're looking at it on points per game. But when you're in a league, you don't look at all points per game. Do you know what I mean? Because you can never predict how many points you're going to pick up. You can't say, we're going to go and beat Ramsbottom and then we're going to go and beat them, are you? Do you know what I mean? You can't predict any game, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Not in this league, impossible.
Well, we went and beat Skem, didn't we? And then went and got beat by 1874 and Glossop. Do you know what I mean? You can't predict that, can you?
No.
It's no disrespect to them. Do you know what I mean? So you can't predict any games in this league.
Skem have gone on, and Skem are having a great run away games.
There you go. So there's no easy games in the league, and you've just got to basically just take what you can as it comes and take each game as it comes, as they say, isn't it? The 3 points per game, hopefully.
Finish at least 5th bottom. That'd be great. That's it. Take that right now.
Yeah, look, it wouldn't be considered obviously a success when over the bigger things, but as long as you're staying in the league, that's the main thing, isn't it? That, and then you build then.
Well, let's stop putting the shits up, everyone, and move on to tomorrow's game against Hanley. Go on, tell us. We're gonna beat them 6-0. That'd be great.
I hope so, but look, I think it's gonna be another nervy one. So just make sure your nails are long enough when you're biting them. Do you know what I mean? Look, I've played them twice this season. Once with Skem, once with us, and we've won twice there. So I think they'll know that. They'll be looking to put one over on me, at least personally. They've picked up lately. They've got a new manager, and obviously Brian Shotton. There'll be a different entity to when we last played them. I think there'll be a bit more. They're always physical and strong, but I think they'll be a bit more clued up, a bit more switched on, and a bit more younger. So I'm expecting a very counter-attacking team, very effective, and one that'll be coming to win, obviously, because they've buoyed by that win the other night. So we'll be doing all we can to put the blockers on that and try and get the 3 points. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy game. It's going to be far from it. It's going to be a tough game. They've been to Bootle once this season, haven't they? And won 4-1.
Yeah.
And at that time, they had the best away records, didn't they? The time we were meant to play them last time, didn't you? One of the best away records.
Well, actually, it was the same as it is now. It's the 5th in the league for away records.
Yeah.
Which, in anyone's book, you've got to take your hat off to. So we have to be extremely careful.
Yeah.
I go back again to a stat that I've used a lot. You go into any game, you've got a 33% chance of winning, 33 of drawing, 33 of losing. They vary slightly if you're at home and blah, 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 blah. You get that first goal in this league, and literally, we've analysed it throughout the year, you go to a 64% chance of winning the game. I think that's going to be a vital component tomorrow. It's not to say you can't come back or the other team can't come back, but it doesn't half help.
Yeah, I agree on that. Do you know what I mean? It's I think it gives you that confidence, doesn't it, when you score first? Do you know what I mean? It's not always a given that Like some teams thrive on getting a goal put past them and then go gung ho. Do you know what I mean? And then go at teams. But I think it gives you a bit of a foothold in the game, and it sort of demoralises the other team. Do you know what I mean? But no, look, it'll be nervy if it's the 90th minute we score and I'm not bothered as long as we win. Do you know what I mean? That's all. And I keep saying the same, I sound like a broken record, the same things. As long as we win, that is all that matters. So I mean, getting them points.
Yeah, agreed. What's an injury update, please?
Off the top of my head, there's no one really. No one that needed treatment last night. Michael Grogan was struggling with a little bit of a bug after Tuesday. I know he come off with a knock, didn't he? But he said he missed training last night due to a bit of a bug. He said he wasn't feeling great from Tuesday onwards. I'll assess him. I'll phone him in a bit tonight and see how he is. But that's it. Adam James, he's been struggling obviously since that game, but hopefully he should be there tomorrow. And that's it really. No, everyone else is clean bill of health as far as I'm aware of.
Jolly good. Well, there we go then. So there's no competing Liverpool and Everton games.
Oh.
You know, the derby's on Monday. There's a chance to come down and see the game. So we're urging all Peps, anyone who's watching this, get along and support. Like I just said about the stat, you score first, your chances are improved. Our chances are improved with a louder, bigger crowd. There's just, it was interesting in that Ramsbottom game. A couple of people said it to me, Paul. One of their defenders cleaned Jack Hazelhurst out, and it got the supporters all riled up. That got the players all worked up, and bang, and then we scored. So there's a direct correlation between it. So a direct sort of plea. Don't sit on your ass or go shopping. Get off your ass, get your mates, and come the game tomorrow. There's no reason not to come to this game. You've got nothing else. Come the Peps. Honestly, we want a good crowd, and it will help us win the game, or help us possibly win the game.
On that note, Paul, you're right. Do you know what I mean? The lads feed off that, and it also demotivates other teams. Do you know what I mean? We go to other grounds, so Colne, there's a hostile atmosphere. They're on your auntie, do you know what I mean? Use Prescott cables, they're on you, do you know what I mean? We need that now, do you know what I mean? And it's not begging for the fans, do you know what I mean? We want them there to support us. Like, we've picked up results. We're now starting to progress a little bit. Get down and support them and support them with backing them with the songs, do you know what I mean? And the support, the chants and getting them, because honestly, you don't realise how important being that 12th man is, and they really are. They can push us on a little bit more, do you know what I mean? If we can get that crowd backing us, then it will push us a little bit further, I feel, up the table.
Good. All right.
Thanks.
Well, I hope you feel better, Paulus, and be there. You will be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
We're all going to be there tomorrow, and hopefully we get our 3 points. And that
crowds as well.
Get the crowd, get the 3 points. Everyone's got a smile on the face then, leading into the derby, and then
the derby we just worry about that on Monday.
We'll worry about ourselves, won't we, our Peps? Right. All right. Thanks, Paul.
Paul, see you later.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye now.